Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Chance, and it's time to talk about some board games. Today I'll be doing a quick review on the board game I Made You a Mixtape. Now this is a small box card game designed by Mike DeLisio and Dan Hughes with art by Gary King, and published by Massive Asterisk. The theme of this game is based on the ancient art of taking a selection of cassettes, Okay, maybe we need to do a quick history lesson before the theme. So cassettes are these small plastic bricks with a magic ribbon on the inside that stores information. These were super popular for music. People would then take their collection of cassettes, select a set of songs that they thought needed to go together, and transfer those songs to a blank cassette to make their own mixtape. Then you share that with a friend or loved one so they can feel the power of those songs. Okay. I'm getting old, but yeah, mixtapes were a bit before me. I grew up with a collection of cassettes, but I'm the peer-to-peer sharing generation. Okay, sharing is a bit of a misnomer. Pirating is more accurate. We made mixed CDs. Okay, so CDs are these small plastic frisbees with a shiny film on them that stores information. Sorry, having a little too much fun talking about old technology, and most of you watching probably understand the concept of a mixtape. Just trying to say that this theme is a bit dated. It's a bit of nostalgia. I still love finding a great song and sharing that with my brother, or finding one that I can share with my wife. So we as humans, we tend to feel something when we listen to a song that resonates with us, and we like to share those feelings. This is all a long-winded way of saying that I think this theme is awesome. The card designs are also great, with that cassette saying the A or B side and that ribbon running vertically across the cassettes. Then each song is a classic. I'll admit that I don't know all of them, but most I can recognize. We got Barbie Girl, All the Small Things, Can't Touch This, There She Goes, Public Enemy #1, A Genie in a Bottle, Welcome to the Jungle, and so many more songs. So yeah, theme is great. The cards are great. Even the little mix board you get for building your mixtape is great. Now let's talk about the gameplay. The concept's pretty simple. You are just trying to build out your mixtape by adding tracks. These tracks can go on either A or B side. The value of the track will adjust the balance tracker towards the side the track is placed on. You'll score more points for having a balanced mixtape. The points you earn for balance at the end of the game is just wherever that tracking cube ends up. So there's one criteria that's going to influence your selection of cards. The other criteria that you'll be concerned about is flow. Flow is tracked with those vertical ribbons on the card. You don't have to connect the ribbons from one card to the next, but you'll score more points if you do. Note that you can't reorder the cards once they are placed, so that means you'll probably have some difficulty maintaining flow across your tracks. There are also these powerful wild cards that always flow, and those are super helpful, but they're not going to score for this next criteria that I'm going to mention. So the last criteria that you may want to try to optimize is genre. There are 6 genres, and you'll score every genre you have, but you'll score more points in a genre the more of that type of card you have. So it adds a bit of a set collection to the scoring. So now we have to talk about how you get these cards, because that's kind of the core of the game. Well, it's incredibly simple. It's an I Split You Choose game where you will draw 3 cards from the deck. You'll make 2 groups, one group that has 1 card and the other group that has 2 cards. Pass both groups to the player on your left. Then you'll take the groups passed to you by the player on the right. Choose one group to keep. Pass the other group back. So that means you'll be choosing one group from the player on your right, and the player on your left will be returning the group they didn't want back to you. Then you just place all the cards you got that round into your mixtape. Easy peasy. That's really all there is. You're just going to keep doing that until the deck runs out, and then tally up the final scores. As I mentioned, you'll score for balance, flow, and genre set collection. Highest score wins. So, what do I think of this game? Well, to be honest, a bit lackluster. Look, this is good. It's easy to teach. It's easy to play. And I honestly do really like that flow and balance mechanism in the game. It's fun trying to link up those cards, and the theme helps this game a lot for me. I like seeing those song names and being thrown back into remembering a whole other time in my life. The nostalgia is strong with this one. So why the lukewarm response to this game? Well, it has to do with the I Split You Choose mechanic. I really do love I Split You Choose. I think it's a brilliant way to add tension. You can no longer just optimize for your board. You have to find a way to give yourself a slight edge without your opponent being able to stop you. I mentioned this in the past, how Hanamakoji does this brilliantly. It's a tense, thinky, calculating game where each time you put those cards out for your opponent to choose from, you could be locking in your victory or loss. On the lighter, less calculating, friendlier side is Agent Avenue, which I think I actually mentioned Hanamakoji in my review. But while Agent Avenue is not as tense or crunchy as Hanamakoji, it's still a game with very tense decisions over what cards to present to your opponent. So now in I Made You a Mixtape, that tension just isn't there for me. I think it's because of the scoring. Agent Avenue and Hanamakoji are two-player games with very clear scoring. You can easily parse the game state for both players. Then you can quickly determine the consequences of your choices. In those games, when I lose, I am always able to look back and say, oh, I should have done this differently. Or man, I remember that one turn where I definitely made the wrong choice. So these games lead to me wanting to try them again. I want to see how my opponent reacts to a new set of choices. So in I Made You a Mixtape, how well your opponent is doing isn't crystal clear. For the most part, I base my groups on my opponent's balance. So do they need more A or B tracks? That's kind of the easiest thing for me to see on another player's board. So I prioritize that when making my groups. Maybe I'll look at flow, but usually not. Then genres, forget it. Like I'm not counting those. There's 6. So while the scoring is pretty easy, the point salady nature just takes away from a lot of that tension I feel in an I Split You Choose game. Now, admittedly, I Split You Choose at more than 2 players is a hard thing to pull off. I think the only other game I've played that does that is Thief's Market, and at the 3+ player count, I would definitely prefer Thief's Market over I Made You a Mixtape. Thief's Market just has a bit more, fun, joy, and tension in it for me. The game has a central pool of resources that players are taking from, and it's a game about greed. How much can you take without other players then taking from you? But Thief's Market is a bit more complicated and can slow down in the later rounds due to its Splendor-like engine building that's going on. So it's not as snappy or maybe as breezy as I Made You a Mixtape. So now there's one more complaint that I have, and if you watch my Nicey review, you'll know what it is. The score pad. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine for a small box game to have score pads. I hate getting the end of a light game and then needing to take that time to tally points. I like games that have a definitive end, like Trio. Now, I did say I like the balance and flow scoring. I think those are a lot of fun, but I truly hate the genre scoring. Everyone at my table groaned when they realized what we were about to do. How many rock songs do you have? What are the rock songs? The ones with the guitar pick symbol. Oh, okay. Next, how many alternative songs? Which ones are those? And so on for 6 freaking genres. Sorry, but that's a miss for me. If I played this game more, I would honestly consider just playing with the balance and flow. Okay, I don't really want to end this review on a negative thought because while the game probably isn't staying in my collection, it's not bad. Glowing review, right? Chance says, not bad. That should go well in an ad. But really, the game is easy to teach and plays pretty quick. It has simultaneous play, and I had a fun time with it. I'm probably rating it, a 6 or a 7 out of 10 on BGG. Not as tense and calculating as Hanamakoji or Agent Avenue, but definitely still brought me some joy. It's also fun to look at your mixtape when you're done and have everyone choose their favorite track, and maybe make that your tiebreaker if needed. So, on a final note, I did want to mention that I didn't really try the solo mode. I'll admit that I read the rules and set up the solo mode because I was like, hey, maybe I should give this a try before I do this review. Then I went to do my first turn and was like, nope, that's definitely not for me. So I can't really comment on the solo mode. This is definitely not a game I would choose to play solo. To me, it kind of defeats the purpose of the, I Split You Choose. So the solo game looks functional, but not my cup of tea. Damn. Did I just end on a negative? Wasn't trying to do that, but I really do want to end on a positive because I think some people will definitely have fun with this. I'm working on a list of family games, and this is actually on the short list. I could see a family playing this game and then at the end of it talking about some of those songs. Like, oh, you haven't heard Welcome to the Jungle yet? Oh man, we got to put that on right now. Or this game is solid and has that nostalgia. You can share some of those memories with your loved ones. Or maybe, do you remember when Barbie Girl was basically being played everywhere? Sure, this game isn't sticking around for me, but it has its merits. So, that's going to do it for my review of I Made You a Mixtape. It's a solid game with a fun theme, and what I think is a great production with what is just basically cards. It just lacks the tension I enjoy in a nice way you choose game. There's also the endgame scoring that always just annoys me for a small box game. So, not one that I'm giving a recommendation for, but hopefully I provided you with enough information for you to decide if you think this game would be right for you. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, and thank you for spending your time with me. I always appreciate it, and talk to you next time.